Grr, arg.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Mixtape Podcast, a podcast where we talk about movies from a screenwriter's perspective, but we are also fans of the movies that we pick each week to dissect. This week, we have one of my favorite movies. It is Batman Forever, released in 1995, directed by Joel Schumacher, written by Janet Scott Batchelor, Lee Batchelor, and Akiva Goldsman. Now, it's also based on the characters created by Bob Kane. This is my favorite Batman movie. I know people are going to cringe. They're going to be like, Batman Forever is your favorite? Batman Forever sucks. Listen, this was the first Batman movie I ever saw in the cinema, right? It was my first taste of Batman. Is it the best Batman movie? No. Is it my favorite? Yes, just for nostalgic reasons. And I forgot to tell you that I'm your host, but you know because I'm talking. And you also know that I'm joined by Marcelo because you just heard him cackling in the background. Marcelo, what do you think about... Okay, first of all, what do you think about Batman Forever, like as a Batman movie? And what is your favorite Batman movie in the franchise?
Okay, Batman Forever as a Batman movie is really, really good. But when I say really, really good, I'm talking about if you are able to like Batman when it's campy, and over the top and all neon-y, which the Joel Schumacher Batmans are, that's the only way that you'll be able to accept Batman Forever, because Batman Forever is very, very, it's very, very comic booky, but it's very, very boom pow. It's very, very Adam West Batman.
Yeah.
It's not like Tim Burton's Batman, or it's not like Christopher Nolan's Batman, or it's not like Matt Reeves' Batman. To answer your second question, my favorite Batman film would actually be, I really like Batman Returns from Tim Burton.
Batman Returns is right after Batman Forever for me, because I love Catwoman.
Michelle Pfeiffer, when I was a kid, she was a sexual awakening for me in that suit.
Yes.
But yeah, my favorite Batman film, because of what it means to me, because I watched it when I was a kid, is Batman Returns. I really love Tim Burton's world and his whole ish.
I adore Batman Returns. I absolutely adore it. So if you don't know the premise of Batman Forever, it is this. Batman must battle Harvey Dent and Edward Nygma with help from a psychologist and a young circus acrobat. So the opening scene, we see Batman getting ready. It's all close-ups of his suit, and it's really, like Marcelo said, this movie is very comic booky and very campy and very over the top. He gets in the Batmobile and he sets off into Gotham, driving down the street. And now we meet Two-Face, and he's taken hostages in a building. Batman arrives, and when he arrives, he meets Dr. Chase Meridian, which is played by Nicole Kidman. She's a psychologist, and she's trying to break down Harvey Dent's psychology to try and outmaneuver him, outwit him, and catch him. The conversation that Batman and Chase Meridian have, she's into him. She's very forward and she's very flirty. I think Nicole Kidman brings something different to the role, because I think who was it in Batman? I know in Batman it was Kim Basinger. In Batman Returns, I think it was just Michelle Pfeiffer, wasn't it? Or did he have another chicken?
Yes.
It was Michelle Pfeiffer.
In Batman Returns, it was Michelle Pfeiffer, and in Tim Burton's Batman, it was Kim Basinger.
Right. So I think Nicole Kidman plays it. I like how she plays it. She's forward, she's strong, but she's not too over the top. It's not like, oh my God, keep it in your pants sort of thing. She's very subtly kind of flirty. So instantly she's into him, she wants him. Batman goes up the building, and there's a hostage being held in like a bank vault that's attached to like a cord that's attached to a helicopter outside the building. Batman goes in. It's so over the top. Batman goes into the vault, and it closes, and it's like entraps him in there, and you're like, oh no, and the hostage is like, it's a trap. And so Two-Face is in the helicopter, and it's, for some reason, the helicopter is able to pull the vault out and hold this vault that must weigh 10 times as much as the fucking helicopter. But, you know, it's a Batman movie. I let a lot of shit slide in this movie. The vault starts filling up with acid, and Batman's like so cool, calm, and collected. He's like, oh, I need your hearing aid to unlock the top bit so they can get out. That would not work in real life, but we're watching a Batman movie. I'm not going to be too harsh on it. He gets it open. He saves the hostage, and then he tries to capture Two-Face unsuccessfully by holding onto the helicopter. It's actually a really cool scene. He holds onto the rope of the helicopter. He climbs up. Two-Face tries to get him off, and then Batman jumps onto the front of the helicopter. They try to get him off, and like he's like an annoying like bug. It's just like you just want to swat like a mosquito, and it just Two-Face is like, oh my god, why is this guy still attached to the fucking helicopter? Like, fuck off. But anyway, Two-Face gets away. Batman obviously survives, but it was a really cool opening scene. You met Batman, you met Chase Meridian, you saw what Batman can do, you saw his gadgets, you met Two-Face. So within the first 5 minutes, I think everything is set up, and the tone, the campiness of the movie is set up. I thought it was a great setup for this movie.
I love the opening set of scenes for this movie because, like Dean just said, they really let you know what the tone's going to be, and they introduce you to all our main players in a very, very efficient way. My favorite moment of these first couple scenes is when you first see Val Kilmer's Batman, and he comes out of the room where he has the bat suit, and Alfred comes up to him, and God bless the actor who plays Alfred. He goes, "Can I persuade you to take a sandwich, sir?" And Val Kilmer as Batman goes, "I'll get drive-through." Every time that line just
so good,
just makes me laugh. But
yeah.
I absolutely love the introduction of Two-Face because Joel Schumacher just does a close-up of a coin being flipped in the air. And I love the way that Tommy Lee Jones is so out of control wacky with this role. It's unbelievable. And it's just so goddamn good. And I love the way that Tommy Lee Jones tortures the security guard that he has tied up on the floor. And I absolutely love when after Tommy Lee Jones throws the security guard in the vault, he notices that Batman is coming up in the elevator. And he tells his goons to just get close to the elevator. And there's a point when Tommy Lee Jones says, "Blast him." And the way that he says it is so great. They fucking shoot the shit out of the elevator. The elevator opens, Batman's nowhere to be seen. And then the first action beat of the film is when Batman kicks the shit out of Two-Face's goons, and some of the gadgets that he uses in that sequence is so fantastic.
Yeah.
I do agree with you that there's no way that a helicopter could handle the weight of that vault. That's impractical.
Yeah.
And there's no way that Batman could have forced his way out of that vault by using the guy's hearing aid. But like I said, this first collection of sequences really tells you what type of movie that you're going to get moving forward, and it's absolutely fantastic.
So next up, we meet Bruce Wayne without the spoiler alert, he's Batman. So without the costume, he's Bruce Wayne. And he goes to Wayne Enterprises to visit one of his divisions, and he meets Edward Nygma. Jim Carrey is phenomenal as you couldn't have cast anyone better. Agree, disagree?
I swear to God, when I went to go see this movie in the theater, first of all, at this point in my life, I was a huge Jim Carrey fan. I was obsessed with Dumb and Dumber. I watched it like every day.
Yeah.
And his performance as the Riddler in this film is some of the most unhinged, crazy ass shit I've ever seen any comedian do in a film. It is so much gold. It's unbelievably, it's so good. But I won't step on your thunder anymore. It's just so good.
Yeah, look, I was obsessed with Jim from Ace Ventura. Still one of my, I'm not a huge comedy person, but still one of my top comedy films. I absolutely love it. And he brings something so just comical yet menacing to the character. He's just brilliant. Anyway, we meet Edward Nygma, who has invented a contraption that can manipulate brainwaves and beams what's on television directly into your mind. Now, he's a massive fan of Bruce Wayne. He's always wanted to meet him. He idolizes him, and he asks Bruce, like, "What do you think? Can we work together? Can we make this happen?" And at first, Bruce says, "Look, get me more information, send it to my secretary, and let's set up a plan." And Edward said, "That's not good enough. That would be good enough for me." But he says, "That's not good enough. I need an answer now. What do you want to do about this?" And Bruce says, "Well, no, because it's too dangerous messing with people's brainwaves. Like, it's just you don't know what you're doing." And Edward doesn't like this. And this is the first time, and Jim plays it so well, that you see Edward, he does this thing with his face where it's just like, you've wronged him and he's just not going to stand for it. But he just does it so menacingly. And then Bruce walks away and he says under his breath, "You were supposed to understand. I'll make you understand." And you're just like, oh, just right there. When they set up Two-Face, Jamie Lee Curtis, I was going to say, she doesn't play Two-Face. It's Tommy Lee Jones that plays Two-Face. Oh my God, Jamie. Where the fuck did I pull that from?
I don't know.
What? I think it's because it's the three names. No, Tommy Lee Jones. He plays Two-Face very over the top, very comical. Joel just said play it as fanatical as you possibly can. Jim plays Edward he does do it over the top, but the Riddler is kind of supposed to be over the top. I don't think Two-Face is supposed to be that campy, but I think the Riddler is supposed to be that campy.
No, I do think that Jim overcooks the Riddler quite a bit in certain scenes in the movie. But the one thing I do appreciate when we first meet Edward Nygma, when he's not the Riddler yet, like Dean said, he plays Edward Nygma with a sense of subtlety and a sense of restraint, and that restraint goes away as the film progresses. But to address the scene in which Bruce just outwardly rejected Edward's idea for this headset, I really like the moment, and I don't like the moment because of what Jim says. I think the moment is punctuated by the fact that after Bruce walks away and says, "I can't do your idea because it's dangerous and it just won't work," as Bruce walks away, Joel Schumacher does a slight push into to Jim Carrey as Edward Nygma. I think that Joel's framing of the shot helps the scene work a lot better, as opposed to doing it in a wide shot.
I absolutely agree. He does push into his face. It's like an extreme close-up of Jim, and you can just see every single pore on Jim's face. And he's such a good actor that he just twists his face ever so slightly, but he's still got this smile on his face. It's just so good. It's so good, but I agree.
It's like a little tick that he does.
Yes.
That he has, I think.
Yes, yes. Bruce looks out the window and the bat signal is on, and he's like, "All right, I got to go," because the person that puts the bat signal on is what's his name? Chief. What's his fucking name?
Gordon.
Chief Gordon, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, the name's just fucking slipped my mind. So anyway, he turns into Batman, and he goes to the bat signal, and he's like, "Okay, well, what's going on?" And then Chase walks out in this sexy outfit, fucking boobs for miles. Right? You're just like, she's like in this little slip thing. And you're just like, oh my God. So she's lured him there to seduce him, question mark. I don't know. But she's extremely direct. Like, she was like, okay, I was direct before, but it wasn't direct enough. And she just basically shoves her boobs in his face and tells him basically what she wants. And Batman is finding it extremely difficult to resist because he's a guy, of course. You got a hot chick, she's throwing herself at you, she's got boobs for miles, legs for miles, it's Nicole Kidman. What are you going to do? But that was that scene. Now, some people might think that's a nothing scene, but it's not, because Joel has to bring their relationship into the forefront. So they need scenes together, whether he's Batman and Chase or Bruce and Chase, he needs them to be in scenes together. So when what happens at the end, you actually feel, oh no, Batman and Bruce they need to save Chase because he really, really likes her. So they needed scenes together. What do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I mean? They need to set it up.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yes. Absolutely. As a fellow writer, I completely understand that if you want a big moment between your two leads in a film, you need to set up scenes with them early in the film to make the audience care about them, to make the third act pay off.
Yes, thank you.
First of all, I love Nicole Kidman. No surprise, right?
Oh, she's great.
Chase Meridian, the way that she just throws herself at Batman,
Mm.
I love how forward she is, and I love the speech that she gives. In high school, it was guys with earrings. In college, it was guys with motorbikes and leather jackets. And now it's rubber, it's leather, and I love the way that Batman or Bruce Wayne, he's obviously into it, but I love how restrained he is,
Mm.
and I absolutely love when Commissioner Gordon comes onto the roof because he notices that the bat signal is on, and he goes, "What's going on?" And Dr. Meridian covers up and says, Batman says, "False alarm."
Mm.
He jumps off the roof, gets into the car, and just has a moment to himself, and he goes, "Women." It's like I love that.
Yeah. I made a mistake before. I said Chief Gordon, but it's Commissioner Gordon. All the Batman fans are
Commissioner
going to be
Gordon.
fucking trying to lynch me, but I need to correct myself. I know there's going to be someone screaming going, "It's Commissioner Gordon."
Commissioner Gordon.
I'm sorry, I messed up on the Batman thing. I'm sorry. Because he wasn't really in this movie.
Yeah, but by the way, that actor who is Commissioner Gordon was the Commissioner Gordon from the 60s Batman series.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and that's the same Commissioner Gordon from the two Burton films.
Oh, okay. Cool. So we're back with Edward Nygma. Edward's my favorite character. I just love him. And he's
awesome.
He's awesome. And he's tinkering on his brainwave invention at work. And his boss comes in and catches him. And his boss told him,
"What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, literally, that's how he said it. Because he told him, end the project, right? But obviously Edward's like, fuck you. So he comes in after work. He starts doing it. And his boss comes in and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And so he...
Just the way he says that, I'm sorry.
And so he gets a teapot and hits him with it. What does he say? He goes, "Coffee or kill ya."
No, yeah.
And then the next minute, he's got him in a chair and he's got his invention. It's like a helmet contraption that he puts on the person's head and he puts on his head as well. On his head, it's a little bit different but similar. And he puts the TV on in front of him. And what this contraption does is it turns images, basically 2D images, into 3D images. You can see his boss getting absolutely messed up. Like he turns into like a zombie. Like he doesn't even know what's going on. He's so entranced in what's going on. So Edward, however, because his helmet is connected, is feeding off of his boss's neurons and gains more intelligence through the machine. And when he takes the helmet off himself, and then the guy he turns the TV off, his boss snaps out of it. And the boss the boss like, "You know what? You're fired. You're fired." And this dude is tied up in a chair, right? He's talking to a psychopath. He's like, "You know what? Don't bother coming into work." And I'm like, "Dude, shut up. Really? You are tied up. You can save this for the morning." Like, and then Edward's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I don't think so." And then he just like, he's in this wheelie chair and he pushes him towards this huge glass thing. The chair stops because it's like connected to like a rope. Oh no, it's connected to the head device and it stops short. Now under it is like this huge like Niagara fucking falls. And Jim does this thing where he like runs and goes, "Stop, I'll save you." And then he gets there and then he just
hold on.
I'm coming. And then he just takes his helmet off and he just starts laughing.
Surf's off, Big Kahuna.
Big Kahuna. All of his lines in this, gold, absolute gold.
Oh my God.
Well, you know that Edward is willing to kill for what he wants. So it was a good scene. It was a good scene.
Fucking what? What? Caffeine will kill ya.
Oh, that's right. Caffeine will kill ya.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was coffee. No, it's caffeine. You're right.
Caffeine will kill you. Listen. I really appreciated that the writers of this film gave Edward made the thing that Edward is working on a very, very, very scientific thing, because they could have given the Riddler just a really bad obsession with Bruce Wayne for some particular reason. But I really like the way how they tied the Riddler to Batman and Bruce Wayne by making the Riddler work at Bruce Wayne's company. And I also really like the fact that they made the Riddler be obsessed with Bruce Wayne, and they made it so his turn into psychoticness was Bruce, or AKA Batman, rejecting him. And like Dean said, I really like that when Edward is initially making this machine, he doesn't know that when he connects to another person, he can feed off their brainwaves. So I really like the scene because this shows you what the device can do.
Yes.
And this also enforces the fact that Edward is totally not going to. Well, he wasn't going to stop doing the project in the first place, but now there's no way that he's going to stop. Edward Nygma is someone who believes that he is owed a lot more in life, but he's obviously owed nothing. But look, it's just a great scene that's amplified by by the way that Jim Carrey plays the Riddler.
So Bruce is at home and he's watching a news segment showing how Harvey Dent got the scars on his face and how he turned into Two-Face. He was a lawyer, and then one of the people on the stand threw acid on him, and Batman tried to save him, but now he blames him, and it's a whole fucking thing. Which if you know the lore of Superman, you kind of already know. But for the people like me, in the cinema for the first time, I didn't know the lore, so that was actually good.
Did you say Superman?
Did I?
Yeah, I think you said Superman.
Oh shit, Batman.
She meant Batman. Folks at home.
I did. So Bruce is called into work. Edward's boss has died, but they don't really know how yet. Was it a suicide? Was he killed? They don't know. And fucking Jim Carrey, Edward is fake upset. He's got these fake tears and his quivering lip, and it's just like, dude, like it's so obvious he's fake upset. He's like, I have a note here written in his handwriting. He's talking normal, and then he starts like whimpering again, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just such funny. It's over the top, but it's supposed to be over the top. So there's a note that says, goodbye cruel world, your suicide note, and there's video surveillance showing the boss actually jumping out of the window. I don't know how Edward manipulated that. There was no skill set to say that he could do that, because you need a skill set. You can't just like manipulate it like that. But anyway, I'm going to let that slide. Bruce gets home and Bruce finds a package, and it's a riddle. It's the first riddle of the movie. If you look at the numbers on my face, you won't find 13 anyplace.
Yeah, that scene when Bruce gets called into the office. First of all, the Bruce at home watching what really happened to Harvey Dent to make him into the Riddler, I thought was great. But when Bruce gets back to Wayne Enterprises and has to deal with the fact that Edward's boss supposedly killed himself, I love how over the top Edward is and how over the top Jim is, because it's so fucking funny. Because like Dean said, his fucking lip is whimpering. He's saying all of the shit that is not true. And I love the moment when Edward stops whimpering for a moment and he hands this guy who is consoling him, he gives him a letter. And he goes, I found this in my cubicle this morning, and you'll notice that the spelling, the sentence structure, and the wording matches this guy perfectly. And I'm like, only a psychopath would say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, I do think that you are completely right in that I have no idea how he could doctor the footage, because it wasn't specifically said that Edward had that skill, but I will give it a pass because Edward made a machine that can beam things into people's head. So if it can do if he can do that, he can doctor some footage. But also, you guys have to remember that this is 1995.
Yeah.
And digital film was nowhere to be seen in 1995.
Mm.
So he would have to doctor tape.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is something completely different. So
Yeah.
I don't know how. I listen. I guess at the time this was movie magic,
Oh,
because there's no way that he would be able to doctor tape that fast.
yeah, if at all. I wouldn't even know how you would
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. But I guess like Ian Malcolm said in Jurassic Park, he found a way.
Yeah, he did find a way. So Edward gets home, and I love the set design on Edward's place. It's dark, it's dank, it's the place of a mad scientist. Like, if you pause it and look at all the shit, because it's only a quick scene, but I wanted to bring it up because it shows the way that he lives. The way that you live is basically a reflection of your mind. And he lives in absolute chaos. I don't even think he has a bed. He's got like a desk, but he's got this really cool. And I wonder where this prop is. He's got this fortune teller machine with a dummy that is dressed like the Riddler. And the dummy's got a finger, and he's got one that points to no and one that points to a question mark when he's asked a question. I want to know who has that, because I want that. That is the coolest prop. But this scene showed how he lives and how kind of degraded his mind is, basically.
You know what I love about that? I think the set design is great, and I think the fact that we actually get a good idea of how Edward lives, and I do think that Dean made a great point. When you see the way that somebody lives, you get a good idea of their psyche. But the thing that I absolutely love about that scene has nothing to do with Edward's apartment. It has nothing to do with the cool doll that he has in an apartment. I love the song.
Oh yeah, the song's really cool.
I don't look to this day. I should Shazam that song. I don't even know what it's called, but it's a really really cool song.
It is.
But again, going back to the way the apartment looks, I love the fact that they actually put the Riddler costume on a physical prop in Edward's apartment, and I love the way. I mean, Dean will get to this. I love the way that he talks to the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a Riddler thing, and I also love the quick shots of him making clues for Batman / Bruce, and and seeing him cut out letters from the newspaper. I mean, who uses newspapers anymore?
Magazines and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was so cool watching him construct all these little clues that he was going to send to Batman.
Yeah. So Bruce goes to see Chase at her work, and he can hear it sounds like she's struggling. And he bursts through the door, and she's just using a punching bag. She's just working out in her office because she's a psychologist. And that's what I like about her character. Some people might say, oh my God, like what a skank. She's so straightforward. Like, she's not very smart. But then they've offset that with she's actually a psychologist. So she's actually highly intelligent and she knows what she's doing. And that makes her boss bitch.
Yeah. Anybody listen to me. When I talk about Batman Forever, and anybody who ever insults Dr. Chase Meridian in front of me, I'm gonna get a mouthful, because Dr. Chase Meridian is not a fucking hoochie mama. She is a intelligent, sexy woman who knows what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah.
And for God's sakes, guys, it's Batman. So any woman with a working hoo-ha would love Batman.
Yeah, no,
so
that's true.
Come on, guys.
So he goes to her office and he wants to get a psych eval on whoever's sending him these riddles. So he got sent another one. Tear one off and scratch my head. What once was red is black instead, which they worked out is a match.
That's actually my favorite riddle in the whole movie.
Yeah, I like that one. I do like that one. So it's a really good conversation with them. She gets to know Bruce. Bruce gets to know her a little bit better outside of the femme fatale thing where she's normal. She's a psychologist. She's doing her job. So she's got those two sides to her, which I really like. Usually when they put women in films, they have the stock standard one way or another. But in this movie, she's actually got range where she's the femme fatale, but she's also the really smart psychologist, which I really, really like. And then he invites her to the circus. And that's that scene. I just like that scene together with them.
You know what? I love the way that he says it. I love the way that he sets it up. He goes, so, we're going to have to get you out of those clothes and into a black dress. And she goes, excuse me? And as a kid, I'm going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
As a kid, I'm like, do you wanna,
Die.
you know, do you wanna get slapped in the face?"
Mm.
But I thought it was a really, really unique way to ask somebody out on a date. And it
Mm.
was very, very disarming. Like,
So, Bruce and Chase get to the circus and they see the flying Graysons.
can I ask you something?
Yes.
When you watch this movie as a kid, how old did you think Dick Grayson was supposed to be?
Yeah, I have an issue with this. He's supposed to be like
Okay.
16 and he looks 25.
Okay. I listen, when I was a kid, I thought that they were playing him as like college age. And like,
Yeah.
if he's college age, why the fuck is he acting like a fucking, and there's this whole other thing, but we'll get to it. But I should let Dean talk about the scene.
So they're at the circus and the flying Graysons are performing and it's a really cool trapeze act. When Two-Face shows up and fucks with everything and says that there's a bomb. Demanding, he goes, I'm going to set this bomb off if someone doesn't claim to be Batman. He goes, I know that Batman is here under obviously not dressed as Batman, but everybody who's anybody is here. I want to know who's Batman. Otherwise, I fucking start killing everybody. So everyone starts screaming. And Bruce actually stands up and he goes, Harvey, I'm Batman. But nobody can hear him. And so he's like, oh, fuck. Chaos ensues. The Flying Graysons kind of, because the bomb is being lifted up. So they grab it and Dick Grayson out of a manhole pushes it out and it detonates in the ocean. But by the time Dick gets back, all his family, his mum, his brother, and his dad have fallen to their death, which is kind of a sad scene. And it is, look, I don't like Chris O'Donnell as Dick Grayson, but that acting when he saw his parents dead was quite good, I thought.
You know, I think look, the Graysons or the Flying Graysons are in this movie for a very, very short time, but like the trapeze act when I was a kid, I love that thing, and that and Batman Forever made me want to go to the circus. So much so that my family actually had to buy me tickets to go see the Big Apple Circus near us when this film was initially released. But I just think it's a really great sequence to introduce the Grayson family.
Yeah.
I did find it a little suspect that for some reason Dick Grayson was the one that they sort of nominated to push the bomb out into the ocean. I did find it a little plotty, but my favorite shot of this film is when Batman as Bruce Wayne is kicking ass on the bottom, and Joel Schumacher keeps cutting from the Graysons falling to their death, and he keeps cutting back from the Graysons to Batman to Chase Meridian in the stands. And right before they're about to hit the ground, Joel switches over to Nicole Kidman as Dr. Chase Meridian. And she watches them fall to the ground.
Yeah. Yep.
It's, I mean, you don't see anything, but it's such a great shot.
Yeah.
And then the reverse of that shot, he goes from Chase Meridian to Batman. And you just see his face. It is so good because you know, as an audience member, you know that Batman is probably at this point having a fucking flashback of his parents dying.
Yeah, exactly. So Bruce brings Dick back to his manor, but Dick he's resistant.
Here's the thing with the age thing. He looks like somebody who's 22.
No, I know, because they keep saying, "Oh, you don't want me to be in the social system." I'm like, how are you supposed to be?
Okay, yeah. Okay, but the person that brings this kid to Wayne Manor is Commissioner Gordon, and I'm like, if he's of college age, then if you're college age, then that would mean that you're over 18, and if you're over 18. The fucking system can't fuck with you because you're old enough. So you're actually telling me that he's supposed to be playing how old now?
He's supposed to be 16, 17.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Okay, I don't buy that, but off you go.
Yeah. So he brings Dick back and Dick is really, really resistant. He's got a bad boy attitude. He's like, I don't need charity. You know, all my family just died. And you kind of understand, but you're kind of like, stop being a dick about it. He doesn't want people feeling sorry for him. And Bruce says, he looks at his meter on his motorcycle and he goes, look, you're almost on empty. You know, come fill it up in the garage and then you can be on your way. When they go into the garage, Dick sees that he's got so many motorcycles and cars, like it's crazy. And Bruce says, look, if you fix one of them up and stay, you can keep one as a fee. And then Dick decides, okay, I'm going to stay. Look, I don't like Chris O'Donnell as Dick. I don't like his character. He's just too much of a dick. He's too much. There's nothing redeemable about him. You don't like him. I know he was supposed to be like a bratty kid, but he was just annoying to me. I just didn't like the casting and I didn't like the way that his character was written.
Yeah, I don't listen. I don't feel that much disdain for Chris O'Donnell as Dick Grayson, but I will say that I didn't care for him as much because, to be honest, guys, I've always been confused about what his age is supposed to be. Again, like I said a couple minutes ago, the guy looks like he's 22.
Yeah.
And you want me to buy that he's supposed to be 16 or 18 years old? Bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
If the guy looks like he's 22, then why not just have him be a kid who's on the run, and why not have a scene where Batman tries to convince him to come and live with him because he's on his own and he has nobody else to live with.
Yeah.
You could basically do everything that you just did, but take out the fact that this man is trying to pass as a 16-year-old or 18-year-old, because it just doesn't work.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And I do agree with Dean 100% that Dick Grayson comes off as a dick in this movie because he just comes off as a immature, know-it-all kid, and it just doesn't work because he looks like he's much older.
Now, the next two scenes are really quick. Bruce starts to have repressed memories of his parents getting killed. I'm not going to talk about the scene. If you don't know how his parents got killed, lift the rock you've been living under. Every person and their dog knows how Bruce Wayne's parents got killed. Not going to go into it. And then Alfred enters Dick's room and sees his motorcycle helmet has a picture of a robin on it and tells him, don't worry, Robin will fly again. That is pertinent to the story. So they're just two quick scenes.
I will say that even children born today know how Batman know Batman's backstory. Even children that just came out of the womb today know about Batman. But the one thing that I will say about this movie, I really love the way that they handled the flashbacks, or Bruce Wayne's flashbacks, because they did it in a really unconventional, sort of Flatliners kind of way. And just FYI, this movie was directed by the same guy who did Flatliners, the original Flatliners,
and Lost Boys.
Yes, and Lost Boys. We talked about that recently.
We did
on the show. Yeah, I do think that the scene when when Robin gets comfortable in Bruce's house, and we see the fact that Dick has a Robin on his helmet. And I do like the story that he tells to Alfred. But I was like, there's another way that you could have done this. Like Dean said, it was important story plotting by the writers.
There's a short scene where with Edward, and he's trying to figure out what his alter ego could be.
This is so funny.
He's on his computer and he's like, he's like the puzzler, not Dr. Doom, but like he's just trying to go through everything. And then he looks
Captain Kill.
And it's like in like Rambo outfit. And then he looks at his fortune teller thing, and he's like, "Oh, that's who I'm going to be."
He's actually cycling through the things, and he comes across this image of him with a question mark thing on his chest. He goes, "Question mark, man?" He looks back at the thing that he has, and the thing goes, "Yes." And he goes, "Thank you very much." And he starts piddling away at the keyboard.
Yeah. So Edward Nygma is now fully transformed into the Riddler, and he finds Two-Face's lair. Two-Face is not happy because Two-Face is just fucking bit of a dick, and
he's miserable.
And he tells him if they team up, they can kill Batman. And he shows him his new, now improved device, which can grab images from the mind and project it, which his original device couldn't, but he's tinkered with it and now it can. And Edward says he will help him find Batman if Two-Face can help him put these devices in all homes in America, because obviously he wants to be like Bruce Wayne. So they just start wreaking havoc together because Two-Face doesn't like the Riddler. The Riddler doesn't like Two-Face. They actually fucking hate each other, but they have a common goal, which is to kill Batman.
I thought this scene with Two-Face and his lair was fucking fantastic because Two-Face has 2 girlfriends, 2 dining tables, and he smokes 2 cigarettes at the same time.
Light and dark.
I was like, this is so much Two-Face. This is so Two-Face. Like, my favorite thing about it was watching his 2 girlfriends run down the dinner menu.
Yeah.
It was just so great. But I really, really love that when Jim Carrey shows up as a Riddler for the first time, it's so striking in that suit that they got him in.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah.
I also love that when Two-Face comes across the Riddler for the first time, he tries to kill him.
Yes.
And I love the way that the Riddler talks his way out of getting shot.
Yeah.
And he goes, you don't want to really kill me. What if I could give you something that you really wanted? What if I could give you the chance to kill the Batman?
Mm.
And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's absolutely so good. So great.
Bruce receives another riddle. The 8 of us go back, not forth, to protect our king from the foe's attack. On the news, it's saying Edward Nygma's 3D box has become the rage of Gotham. So a little bit of time has passed. Edward has changed his look. He's now looking very suave, very kind of Jim Carrey-ish, whereas before he kind of wasn't. And it shows people using it. So basically there's a beam of green light into the brain and people turn into zombies. They don't even need a TV. It just beams the shit directly into your brain. They just need a device. Meanwhile, the device also takes their neurons, like what he did with the boss, because that was a setup, and it feeds back into Edward's brain. He's got like this, it's like a solitude of fortress in the middle of the ocean, and he sits there on this big throne, and every single neuron of every single person that's using it goes down into his brain. So he's becoming smarter, but also more psychotic, which he will become more psychotic. And I loved it. It was a good scene.
Yeah, I really, really love the fact that when Edward Nygma becomes a Riddler, his identity slowly changes, and it's like Jim Carrey. It's like Jim Carrey It was like Jim Carrey played Edward Nygma a certain way, but when he turns into the Riddler, it's full Jim Carrey, and he just runs with it. I love the fact that somehow Edward Nygma got funding to make the box the way that he wanted to make it, and I love that the people in Gotham are so stupid that they basically made him like a Bill Gates kind of character guy. I really love that in the party where Bruce comes across Edward with his newfound fame. I really love that Edward Nygma is sort of passive aggressive towards Bruce.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that Edward Nygma tries to dance with Chase Meridian. The way that he dances with Chase Meridian is so fucking over the top. It is so funny.
He's got his shoulders
But
up.
I really love that his ultimate goal was to get Bruce to try out one of his machines.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to know what is in his head. And I think that's a great idea.
Yes. So Dick asks Alfred why a certain door in the house is locked, and Alfred says it's for the silverware. Later on, when Alfred goes into the room, because Dick is a dick, he jumps down from the fucking balcony and does all these flips because he's a trapeze artist, so it makes sense that he can do this stuff, right? So that's fine. And then he goes into the room and he finds out that it's the Batcave. So that's how he finds out it's a Batcave. Yeah. So when he finds the Batcave, Dick actually takes the Batmobile out for a joyride. Now, this always struck me as weird. First of all, how did Alfred let him? And second of all, does the Batmobile need keys or not? So, like, how does he get it started? I don't know. That was
okay.
Weird.
It was very weird that, first of all, when Dick did the whole routine to get into the Batcave, and Dick fell down the stairs, Alfred saw him there. Why in the fuck would Alfred let him take the car?
I don't know.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. So he's out with the car, and some punks are harassing a girl, and they're really cool. They've got like neon paint on their faces and on their clothes. It actually comes across really cool on camera. And he rescues her and fights off the guys, so it shows that he can fight. And then Batman shows up, and they all scatter. And Dick is like, because now he knows obviously it's Bruce Wayne, and then he says, it should have been you. Why didn't you say it was you? It should have been you. My family should be alive. And then he says, if Bruce Wayne could have given his life for your family, he would have. At the Batcave, Dick says that he wants to kill Two-Face and wants to partner up with Bruce, and Bruce is like, no way. And why would he? Why would Batman, who's an established iconic figure, want to team up with a bratty 16, 17-year-old kid that doesn't know fucking left from right, honestly?
I fucking hate the scene when Dick basically forces his partnership onto Batman. It is so agonizing to watch Chris O'Donnell deliver these fucking lines because it's so fucking stupid.
I know.
Because he comes off as so fucking into himself and so fucking secure of himself. It's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap.
Yep.
And the fact that he says, Al, take this uniform and put it where it belongs right next to the Bat costume, I go, bullshit. You haven't earned it yet, you motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's so annoying.
It's super. That's why I don't like him. In Batman and Robin, he's a more palatable character. They've written him a little bit more differently. He comes to the party, as it were. But his setup in Batman Forever is just horrible. So now to the scene you were talking about before. Bruce, Dick, and Chase attend the Edward Nygma party. Bruce steps
I am so sorry.
Bruce steps into both, into a booth with the 3D box, but he thinks it's off, but it's actually on. And it scans his brain. And whatever is at the forefront of your mind, it actually shows on the big screen. Now, Two-Face crashes the party. Bruce rushes out, basically turns into Batman, comes back and fights the bad guys really cool, and then chases Two-Face out of the building. This is the shot that I absolutely love in this movie. I think, this is it. Batman jumps off the building and Joel does this shot of underneath and then it comes up above him and his cape fly. I don't know. It's really, really cool. And Batman's in this like this, I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about when he jumps off the building?
Yes.
He comes from beneath and then up the top and then he falls into the thing.
It is so cool. Yeah, because Batman jumps off the building and then Joel starts the shot from below. So you see Batman jump and then Joel starts with a shot from below Batman, but then he tilts the camera up as he's falling.
Yeah.
And because of him tilting up the camera, you see the cape, fall. It's so cool. And and down in the street below, you have Two-Face's goons holding a fucking
it's like a tube.
Where they holding a plastic tube for Batman to fall through. It's such a cool shot. I have no idea how they did it.
I don't know.
Again, guys, today to do something like that, it's easy. Yeah. But you have to remember that this was 1995, so I have no idea how they did that.
Exactly. And after he falls down the tube, he rolls into a little thing, a little like crevice thing, and Two-Face tries to burn him to death, but Batman is on it because Batman presses a thing on his little gadgetry and turns his cape into like fucking fire resistant, right? And then he just runs out of the fire, which is really cool, and he's pissed. You can tell he's fucking pissed off. Do not try to burn me. And then Two-Face is like, why can't you just die? Honestly, if I was Two-Face, I would think the same thing. This guy just doesn't die. So anyway, he's got this like gun and he shoots the scaffolding that Batman is standing on, and Batman is buried alive when under the rubble when Robin comes and saves him because Dick has turned into Robin. He's wearing his trapeze costume. He's not wearing the Robin outfit. He's just wearing his trapeze costume and he rescues Batman.
Also, did you happen to notice that his trapeze costume is actually the same color of his actual costume from the comics? From the comics?
Yes, I did.
But here's the thing. His costume looks so stupid. Like
the trapeze costume?
Yes.
It's so ridiculous.
It just doesn't work. Listen. Robin as a character is so fucked up because Why would a grown-ass man have a child with him fighting crime?
Yes.
Like,
No, exactly.
it's so yeah, but also, yeah, and I hate the fact that Dick had to say Batman, because that gives Dick more agency into him saying, "I saved your life, so you owe me something."
Yeah,
And the
exactly.
thing that and the thing that Dick is gonna ask Batman for is to be your partner. And I'm like, oh my God, just get out of my face.
Get the fuck out of here, Robin. So Batman visits Chase and he kisses her. But she kind of stands back and she says, "Look, I'm really sorry. I don't know what this is, but I've met someone else and I kind of like him." He knows she's talking about Bruce Wayne. And
Yeah.
so when he walks away, I love this shot. He has this smile. He stops. It's like a close up and he has this smile on his face and then he walks past the camera because he knows. I love that shot. I just love it.
It's a wonderful shot, and it's a really interesting thing that in a lot of Batman stories, you have this thing that you don't have with a lot of superheroes, shit. You have a duality. You have two different people. You have Bruce Wayne, which is the pretend face. And then you have Batman, which is the real face. But I really love how in this movie,
You mean Batman's the pretend face?
no. The pretend face is Bruce Wayne, and the real face is Batman. If you think about it,
Explain yourself.
because I believe that when Bruce saw his family die in that alley, the individual who Bruce Wayne could have been died. I think Bruce Wayne died with his family in that alley. And after that night, Batman was born. And the true individual that Bruce Wayne wants to be is Batman. And the sort of mirage of being a playboy and being a billionaire, that's the costume.
Okay. Okay, I get you. I get you now. Yep. So Riddler shows Two-Face the brain mapping of Bruce Wayne. And it's just bats. It's a bat. And then Edward goes, "What kind of a man has bats on the brain?" And that's it. That's that scene. Because I love Jim so much, I wanted to
Such a
mention
good
it.
idea. Such a good idea. Also,
Yeah.
I love the moment when he sticks the thing to his chair and he goes, "Voila!" Just the way he says it, it's just like Jim Carrey's physicality in this movie is just
It's
great.
perfect. It's perfect. So Bruce invites Chase over because this is interesting to me. He's willing to give up saving people's lives to be with Chase Meridian. And I'm like, no.
Listen? First of all, I need to ask this. When you were a kid watching this movie, did you buy the relationship between Bruce Wayne / Batman and Chase Meridian?
Yeah.
Okay, as an adult, do you still buy that relationship?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the reason why I believe that Batman is willing to give up everything for Dr. Chase Meridian.
Mm.
Because I think that he identifies with Chase Meridian because she can get into his soul in a way that other previous partners couldn't have,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
because she's a psychologist. So I think that gives her a leg up when it comes to Michelle Pfeiffer or when it comes to Vicky Vale, right?
Mm-hmm.
His relationship with Selena Kyle was a relationship based on sex. His relationship with Vicky Vale was a relationship based on need and want.
Mm.
But his relationship with Dr. Chase Meridian is a relationship built on understanding each other and trust
Mm.
and psychology. That relationship is worth it giving up being a psychopath and dressing up and being a champion of the people, at least to me.
That's a good way that you actually put it. Couldn't he do both? Why can't he
No,
be Batman and be
actually,
with her?
it's a possibility that he could do that. I'm going to give you that. But here's the thing. I think that Bruce / Batman would be a little bit too worried.
You know what? I disagree. I
Okay.
don't think he wants to be Batman. I think he does it for kind of like it's a coping mechanism. And now he's found someone else. He's like, "Oh, well, I don't need this anymore. I've
Wait,
found this woman."
he's found peace.
He's found peace with Chase, and so he's like, "I don't need to do it." I think that's why.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Bruce invites Chase over to tell her who he is, and she kisses him. And because she's already kissed Batman, you can see all over her face. Oh my God, she knows because it's the same lips. It's the same way that they kiss, and he doesn't have to say anything. But then Two-Face and the Riddler, they break into Wayne Manor and they fucking bust it all up, blow up the Batcave, and kidnap Chase. As they do. It was great. It was a great scene.
The scene of Jim Carrey laying waste to the Batcave is absolutely glorious.
It's glorious. I loved it.
Like, oh my God, when he imitates a pitcher on a baseball mound, it's just so good.
God, so good.
I mean, and then when he puts a bunch of bombs in the fucking Batmobile, is so good. It's so great. But my favorite moment of the whole sequence is watching Bruce Wayne and Dr. Chase Meridian run from Two-Face's goons. And I love how Tommy Lee Jones keeps flipping the coin back and forth because Riddler told him, remember, no killing.
Yes.
And that goes double for you.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that to a point Riddler did, to a point, Two-Face did what the Riddler wanted to, but he just couldn't take it, and he ends up shooting Bruce Wayne / Batman in the head.
Yeah.
And when he goes to shoot him point blank in the head for a final time, because he wants to give him the good old double tap. And I love when Riddler comes in and says, "No, if you kill him, you won't learn nothing.
Don't kill him.
It's don't kill him.
Don't learn nothing."
It's such a good line.
So good.
The lines in this movie are so fucking good.
They're fun. This movie is not supposed to be taken seriously. This is not Nolan's Batman. It's not serious.
Look, guys. I love Christopher Nolan's Batman. I love Paul Dano's Riddler, but sometimes, and Paul Dano's Riddler is very serious.
Yes,
Sometimes you need a little fun with your Batman.
Yeah, this is straight out of the comics.
Yeah, and like I said, it's very 60s TV show Batman.
It definitely is. So Bruce figures out the Riddler is Edward Nygma and has one last batsuit that wasn't destroyed. And this is the best batsuit. This is the upgraded batsuit because the batsuit he wears throughout the movie is kind of similar to Batman Returns. This one is the new and improved one, which I actually prefer. And then Dick comes into the cave wearing full Robin suit that Alfred had made him. If I was Bruce, I'd be like, Alfred, mind your business, mate. What the fuck are you doing? But anyway, they come to an agreement because Dick says, look, we're fighting Riddler and Two-Face. It's better to have two than one. And Batman's like, yeah, all right. He kind of relents. Batman takes the helicopter and Robin takes the boat on their way to the Riddler's lair.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
How in the fuck was Riddler able to build a fucking island in the middle of Gotham Harbor? Nobody said anything.
Well, it's so far out, though. It's in the middle of the ocean. It's so far out, so nobody would have seen anything. Batman and Robin reach the Riddler's lair, which again is in the middle of the ocean. But it's funny because they get to the lair and Robin goes, "Holy rusted metal, Batman!" And that always makes me fucking piss myself.
That's a lie.
Oh my God, that's not comic. I don't know what is.
No, but that is something that the Robin, from the TV series would say.
Yes, I love it. It's just funny. I love how they put that in. So
and also Batman goes, "What? Huh?" And
even he's confused. Robin sees Two-Face and he runs off because he's a kid. And Batman's like, "Stop! What are you doing?" Anyway, he runs off, comes face to face with Two-Face, and Robin and Two-Face fight. Two-Face is hanging off the ledge, and if he falls, he's going to die. And it's like a cliff thingy. And then Robin helps him. Don't know why, but the whole movie he's like, "I want to kill him," and then right when he's about to kill him, he's like, "No, I can't. I have to do the right thing because I'm a fucking hero." And then what a fucking moron. And then he pulls Two-Face up and Two-Face puts a gun in his face. He goes, "Well, it's admirable. Stupid, but admirable." And I'm like, "Oh, Robin, you're an idiot."
Yeah, I mean, look. When I was a kid, I was so pissed at Robin for helping Two-Face up because I knew that Two-Face had another gun.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Because listen, Two-Face has two faces. So why wouldn't he have two guns, you moron?
Because Robin's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot. That's why Batman doesn't want him as a partner. Because he's an idiot. He doesn't need to save Robin.
Look, guys, that's why Robin doesn't work in live action. The only place where Robin works is in comics and in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, exactly. So Batman reaches the inside of the lair, and Riddler reveals. Riddler's got like all crazy hair now. He's got a crazy fucking hairdo because he's crazy, right? He's crazier. And the Riddler reveals that Batman has a choice and to choose between Robin, to save Robin, or to save Chase. But he can't save both. He has to choose one. And when I was seeing this in the cinema, I was like, oh my God, like, who's he going to choose? Like, I was so like, oh my God. It was heart palpitations in the fucking cinema going, who the hell is he going to choose? The love of his life or look, I would choose love of my life. It's like, you know what, Robin? I don't know you. I've known you for 2 weeks. I don't know you. Anyway, but of course, they're in tubes, right? So when the Riddler hits a button. Now, before he hits the button, Batman says, I have a riddle for you. And Riddler goes, oh, a riddle for me. Let's hear it. I didn't write it down, but he says something like, I see without seeing, something like that. And the Riddler says, well, of course, you're as blind as a bat. And then Batman presses one of his gadgets and all this light kind of beams out, kind of blinding the Riddler, and then he presses the button. And Chase and Robin are in these tube things. And when the tube is like, when the trapdoor releases, they're flying down to like death, basically. And Batman, of course, jumps down and saves both of them and destroys Riddler's lair in the middle of it. Because of course he does, he's Batman. Two-Face corners them. I love this scene. Two-Face corners them. And he throws a coin in the air because the whole movie, he throws a coin in the air to see what decision he has to make. So he throws a coin to see, like, should I kill them or should I just leave them? When he throws a coin, Batman, in his wisdom, has a handful of Two-Face coins. And as he throws it up, he throws the coins to Two-Face to disorientate him. And it does. And he loses his balance and he falls to his death, which is the death that Chase and Robin were supposed to fall to, which is like a spiky thing. You don't see it, but you see their faces when he lands.
I really did like the third act of this movie, and I like the fact that Batman outsmarted the Riddler at his own game.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that Batman, after watching Robin fall to his death and Chase Meridian fall to his death, I love that he used his gadgets to save them.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really love that.
Yeah.
I love the Riddler's tracksuit.
The silver one?
No, not the silver one. Before Batman and Robin show up, there's
the jacket.
There's this quick scene. Yeah, there's this quick scene
that lights up.
There's this quick scene where the Riddler goes, I have a new jacket. What do you think? It lights up.
It helps me when I'm jogging at night.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's so cool. So the very last scene of the movie, we're at Arkham Asylum. And Chase visits Edward Nygma, who is now a patient there, because the doctor says he keeps screaming, I know who Batman is. Now, Chase wants to go there because she knows who Batman is now, and she needs to see what exactly he knows and what he's saying. And she goes up to his cell and she asks him, Edward, who is Batman? Tell me who is Batman. And then Edward walks into the light and he's all like, I can't even describe him. They've got him in this fucking jumpsuit that's like psychopathic, like prisoner jumpsuit. And he goes, I'm Batman. And it's like, he plays it so psycho. And then Chase leaves and Bruce is outside and she says, your secret is safe. And that's it. That's the end.
Yeah, I also love that scene. First of all, seeing Jim Carrey in that sort of fucked up version of a straitjacket is just so creepy.
Yeah.
But when Chase goes outside and she has the final conversation with Bruce Wayne, at some point in the movie, Chase gave Bruce Wayne a dream catcher, and I really love it when Bruce gives it back to her and he says, "I don't need this anymore because I have found." He basically says, I have found my happy thought. Like he was fucking Peter Pan or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love when he says that. He just has the look on his face to indicate that you're my happy thought, that
Yeah.
you are my happiness, so I don't need this anymore.
Mm.
So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it is good.
And I would have loved to see Val Kilmer and Nicole Kidman come back for Batman and Robin, but unfortunately that wasn't in the cards.
I almost cried when I heard that he wasn't coming back as Batman. But then
Yeah,
obviously
and
20 years later you find out why and you're like, "Oh."
yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I was destroyed that he wasn't going to come back as Batman, because
Me too.
I quite liked him as Batman,
Mm.
and the less said about Batman and Robin, the better.
Yeah, exactly. So my trivia is this.
Yes, yes. go on.
Jim Carrey didn't get along with Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy fucking hated him and told him he was an idiot. Which tracks
Yeah, I mean,
with Tommy Lee, but
yeah,
like poor Jim.
yeah. No, but I will say that Tommy Lee Jones is a very specific type of actor, and Jim Carrey, God bless him, because Jim Carrey is a treasure. He is very, very, in your
Opposite.
face.
He's opposite to Tommy
Yeah.
Lee. Chris O'Donnell actually did drive the Batmobile, so that is him driving it because they wanted a stunt person to drive it, but Chris is like, no.
I'm doing it.
I'm gonna drive it, which I'm on board with it.
That's awesome.
He insisted, but then he drove it into a curb and dented the front.
Oh, fuck.
I think it takes a specific, you have to train, you have to have practice driving the Batmobile. It's completely different controls. It's different length, different way. It's a completely different thing. I've always wanted to drive the original Batman because they do have them and they are cars. They are actual cars. And I've always wanted to drive them.
Yeah. But which Batman car do you want to drive?
This one.
This one?
The Batman Forever one.
Okay.
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio turned down the role of Robin.
Good for him.
And that's all we'll say about that. Good for him.
Yeah.
The original cut was 3 hours long. Now, Joel Schumacher originally wanted to do a really dark, gritty film, but Warner Brothers said no, make it light and campy.
What?
Right. So, this is not what he wanted.
Wait a minute. So I have been blaming poor Joel Schumacher for centuries?
Blame the Warner Brothers executives because they said no.
Are you? Oh man. Well, all right. Well, it's a shame that we lost Joel Schumacher quite some time ago.
But like I said, there is an original cut of the film that is 3 hours long and much, much darker. There are a lot of people because it does exist. He did make it. There are a lot of people that want Warner Brothers to release the dark cut of Batman Forever, but for whatever reason, Warner Brothers are dicks and they won't do it.
I can't believe that. Guys, you have no idea for how many years I was blaming this poor man.
Listen, sometimes studios have no fucking idea what they're talking about, and what I'm about to say next, I'm not going to go on about, but they did the same shit with Suicide Squad. I'm not going to go on about it because I'm over it.
Oh, no.
They did the same shit. They said, no, it's too dark. Make it like it light and campy. And I just went, oh, you fuckwits.
I will say that thank God Warner Brothers let Christopher Nolan make Batman the way that he wanted to. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's the end of my trivia. Shall I wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
If you liked what we had to say, you can subscribe to us. You can like us. You can listen to us on podcast version or YouTube version, whatever. If you want to email us, you can email us at themixtapepod@aol.com. Next week, for all the snowflakes out there, for all the people that get offended easily, please do not tune in next week. We are doing Mel Brooks's Blazing Saddles, which is a great movie, but it is not for the people that get offended. But if you would like to hear us speak about Blazing Saddles, please tune in next week. And as I say every week, as we always say every single week, because this is how we leave you, if someone is kind enough to make a mixtape, that must mean that they really love you. The Mixtape Podcast is a Balloonhead Productions presentation.